Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be showcasing all of the dragon takedowns in the Jagged Peak, starting off with the first Jagged Peak Drake. I managed to defeat this boss without taking any damage, so it was a good start to the run. So this is basically an identical dragon to the first dragon you face in Limgrave at the start of the game, so you just want to watch out for the tail swipes and of course breathing fire. So you just want to aim for the head when you can and attack the legs. You can lock on fairly easily to this boss, and with a few hits he can be knocked unconscious or staggered, and we deal a lot of damage there and the fight's almost finished. So you just want to watch out for when he charges down like that, and the fight should be over pretty soon. And there's the first boss of the Jagged Peak defeated. So moving on to the second boss, or two bosses, you have the second Jagged Peak Drake and a weaker dragon that he's facing. So you could be quite patient and let them just battle it out. They do chip away at each other's health. I tried to focus on the more difficult boss, the Jagged Peak Drake, just so the other weaker dragon can deal some damage for me. So it's just been really patient here. Of course there's twice the fire, twice the tails, basically twice everything. So this fight was definitely longer than the first fight. I've sped up the video because it was like a 4-minute fight in real time. So I think we get clipped maybe once in this fight, so it's a pretty smooth run. And you just got to be patient, and they do exactly the same attacks as the first dragon. They're just a bit more aggressive, particularly there being two of them. So you'll see that I'm having a few missed swipes. The main reason being that I'm not locking on to the dragon because I want to kind of keep an eye on what he's doing above. So if he flies up and above, if I'm locked on, you can kind of get clipped. So it's definitely frustrating missing, but it's a bit of a safer tactic not to get hit. And there's the second Drake defeated. Moving on to the third Drake, the ancient dragon Senessax, by far much more difficult than the first two bosses. So you'll see here that there's some body of water, so any of his lightning attacks are greatly enhanced, so you take way more damage. So you want to try and stay out of the water on the sides, but most of the area is covered in water, so it's really difficult. Again, not locking onto him here because it firstly only locks onto his belly and his head, so you can actually really lock onto his legs to attack. And also because he does all these lightning attacks and swipes, you want to not be locked on so you can see them come in. So my tactic here is to kind of go in, do a couple of hits on the first legs and the second, and then get away. Of course when he flies up, breathing fire to stay out of that. He does dismount me here, and this is a little bit of a worrying time. I stay on foot, dealing some damage. I tried a few runs where I was on foot, but I found it way more difficult, so I found it better to stay mounted, do a few attacks and then get away from him, and rinse and repeat. So I managed to defeat Senessax, which is, yeah, definitely a difficult boss. And moving on to an even more difficult boss, Bayle the Dread. So just to note that this is on a different character, so I did summon my Mimic tier, because yeah, this would have taken all day to solo him. This definitely isn't the cleanest run. I was just happy to defeat him. So he's quite aggressive. His lightning attacks aren't as difficult to dodge, but he does do these lunges, so you just want to make sure to try and roll out of the way when you can, and hit his head whenever possible, because he can definitely be staggered, and that's where you can deal a lot of damage. So the Mimic tier put in work, and we managed to stagger him, and I can't manage to do the special attack there, but deal a lot of damage nonetheless. And here we're just coming to the end of the fight, just trying to survive, dodging lots of his attacks there. I do think we're going to die there, but managed to dodge that as well, and we defeat Bayle the Dread, which is the last boss in the Jagged Peaks. Hopefully this has been helpful. Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe for more.